Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and there's something very important I forgot to tell you, and that is that the Atlanta Braves got their butts handed to them last night by the Dodgers. Now, this happened, I went to baseball practice and I threw some balls to the kids, and I got home, I think it was 5 minutes after the game had started. I turned on the TV and the Dodgers are already winning 6-0. And then it became 7-0. And then I'm watching in the first inning, I think it was, and I watched a guy hit a grand slam. They had they had the Braves 11-0 before that freaking game even started. And so I eventually just turned it off. I couldn't stomach it. So, I think that they ended up losing 15-1, but the Braves are still ahead in the series 2-1. I'm hoping they can seal the deal. Okay. Now something interesting is afoot with Brad Garlinghouse. Brad Garlinghouse continues to bring up this Digital Commodity Exchange Act. And also, there's something that I showed you the video yesterday, but I did not catch the fact that Brad Garlinghouse was cut off right after he mentioned the Digital Commodity Exchange Act. This was on Fox Business. Thread, Brad Garlinghouse, and this is from 321 XRP. Brad Garlinghouse on Mornings with Maria mentions Digital Commodity Exchange Act and immediately gets cut off. The one time they show XRP prices 26 cents in red, they don't want you all to hop on board the ship. So watch. I remember joking about how he looked shocked that they had turned it off on him, but I was not thinking about the fact that he had just mentioned the Digital Commodity Exchange Act. Watch this.
It's called the Digital Commodity Exchange Act that was introduced in Congress in, I believe, the Ag Committee, and there's bipartisan support.
Somebody literally pushed the button on him the second he said that.
You don't want to cede all of this innovation to China, Brad. You make a very important point. I'm glad there's at least the beginning of it in Congress. We'll keep talking about this.
So if you have ever wondered if there's an invisible hand that's trying to manipulate this world we live in, watch that clip over and over. Let's watch that one more time, because that is not by coincidence. And I think Brad Garlinghouse was literally in shock by it. Watch.
It's called the Digital Commodity Exchange Act that was introduced in Congress in, I believe, the Ag Committee, and there's bipartisan support.
Look, he's shocked. He's like, what?
Yep.
Wow, that is a moment, and I totally missed it. Now, there's a thread here. It says Mike Conway introduced the bill with bipartisan support, meaning like one Dem said it looks cool. Conway also said similar things as Brad Garlinghouse about regulations. If you look up his thoughts, here's like a meet Mike Conway, the new sheriff. This is the bill that Brad keeps bringing up, this Digital Commodity Exchange Act. Now, if you go down this thread, I was going through all the articles that spoke of the Digital Commodity Exchange Act, and I couldn't find one that linked to the bill. But here's this. And it says, price before law. Why is China winning? That's the narrative currently. Okay. So let's kind of look at this now. That's a bill that's got to be passed in Congress, but who runs let's look at this real quick first. This is another tweet. XRP Crypto Quebec. Congressman Schweikert introduced the Digital Commodity Exchange Act. Many committee reps supporting the act, bill and legislation. See their comments. It's all about clarity. Legislation here. And, this is U.S. House of Representatives. And then it shows all of the different people. There's Tom Emmer. America is the home of innovation, entrepreneurial spirit. We are holding our innovators back by you can see this whole theme going on. Then this is ranking member Dusty Johnson. Then this is ranking member Austin Scott. It goes on and on. There's Jerry Brito. There's Darren Soto. And then as we go forward, we get Kristen Smith. We're proud to support the introduction of the Digital Commodity Exchange Act and Securities Clarity Act. Together, these efforts will help clarify outstanding issues related to when, how securities laws and commodities regulations apply to digital assets, Now, remember that name, Kristen Smith, Executive Director, Blockchain Association. Well, just so happens she was at Swell. And how are policymakers thinking about crypto? Blockchain Association's Kristen Smith discusses this and more at Ripple. This is an ecosystem that evolves so quickly at Ripple Swell. This is an ecosystem that evolves so quickly with many different use cases of the technology. As awareness and understanding of these different types of crypto assets moves forward, we're starting to see changes. Kristen Smith, Executive Director, Blockchain Association, right? Okay. And then there was this today. CoinDesk tweeted this out. They were talking about Ethereum. The CFTC published an assessment on climate change's impact on markets. Chairman Heath, that's Heath Tarbert, chairman of the CFTC. That's where Christian Carlo used to be the chairman, but now he runs the Digital Dollar Project and works for a law firm that represents Ripple. Bringing it up implies climate change is a concern. Proof of stake, being more climate friendly than proof of work, will be an issue to be watched. Well, we've been saying that for a long time. Proof of work does not work. We're hearing all this talk about climate change from all these different organizations. They all know it. They've always known that proof of work does not work, and that from a sustainability standpoint, it's not going to work. They all know it. These politicians are not going to go out there and say, yeah, we're going to use Bitcoin that uses all this power and all this stuff. It's not going to happen. So, but this takes us to Heath Tarbert, who I think this is the one I wanted to show you first. Heath Tarbert comes out today, this is today or yesterday, and he says this.
He just basically say how impressed I am with Ethereum, full stop, period. And that when I think about this as a regulator, I think of it almost analogized to email versus the internet. If Bitcoin is email, a one-trick pony, so to speak, but obviously revolutionary, Ethereum goes far beyond that. It's more like the internet.
Okay, so that's Heath Tarbert. So the question is Heath Tarbert a friend to Ripple? But first, we need to look at the reply here, which is the obvious that Heath Tarbert does know, by the way. While XRP is 1,000 times better and faster than Bitcoin and Ethereum, wonder why the U.S. is losing and behind in crypto? And this is a graphic, of course, that tells you why XRP is better, faster, more scalable than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that stuff. Well, let's take a little stroll down memory lane because I think Heath Tarbert is a friend of Ripple. A digital asset, Heath Tarbert, this is Bank XRP from October 10th, 2019. Listen up.
Is it a security, first and foremost? And if it's not a security, it is most likely a commodity. And so that is the initial sort of test. What I will say is the interesting thing, unlike other kinds of investment contracts, is a digital asset can transform itself throughout time. So you can have a situation where something in an initial coin offering is very much a security. But
you mean like you could create an XRP ledger foundation and push it out into the ocean and all of a sudden it becomes decentralized over time? And that's one part of the recipe.
Over time, the system becomes more and more decentralized. The enterprise that originally sort of sponsored the currency is no longer in the fore. The thing is sort of running itself. There's an intangible value, that's there. So you can have things that actually switch back and forth. You could also imagine a scenario where something is very much decentralized, but then all of a sudden, there's a pullback. The company gets more involved in it. It starts to look more like a common enterprise where profits are derived from the activity of others, thereby meeting the Howey test. But I think all things being equal, if you approach it as, is this a security? And if you come to the conclusion it's not with the SEC, it's most likely going to be a commodity.
Okay, and here's Heath Tarbert again. This is Bank XRP as well. And this is back from January 2020. Listen to this clip.
Year, will more cryptocurrencies, like a Ripple, for instance, fall under your purview in addition to Bitcoin and Ether?
It's unclear. Stay tuned, I would say. Part of the issue is our
Stay
jurisdiction
tuned.
we share with the SEC. If it's a security, it falls under their jurisdiction. If it's a commodity, it falls under ours. So we've been working closely with the SEC over the last year or so to really think about which falls in what box, because I think if I hear anything from market participants, it's that we really need clarity. That without clarity, it's really difficult to figure out how these will eventually be regulated and how to trade them.
In the new year.
All right. So I was looking through this thread and something popped out at me. This is from Bank XRP as well. We have expanded this is when Ripple announced this. We have expanded our global regulatory bench to include Susan Friedman as an international policy counsel and Ron Hammond as manager of government relations. Prior to Ripple, Friedman was senior advisor to CFTC chairman Heath Tarbert in his previous capacity as Treasury's assistant secretary for international markets. And here it says it as well. Let's see here, right down here. Susan Friedman says Friedman was the senior advisor to CFTC chairman Heath Tarbert. This guy runs the commodities, folks. Okay. So then, here she is, Susan Friedman. I just wanted to show you that. Now, moving along. Breaking IMF to 2 times its total SDR arrangements by January 1, 2021. We welcome progress on implementing the agreed reforms to double the new arrangements to borrow and the new round of bilateral borrowing agreements on 1st of January 2021. And they're tweeting out a European Central Bank IMFC statement, Christine Lagarde. Then, Christine Georgieva, who runs the IMF, who's the, what do they call her? I always forget, managing director of the IMF. Just as I showed you in prior video that she was talking about the new Bretton Woods. Now she doubles down, just as our founders did at Bretton Woods in 1944. We now face 2 massive challenges to fight a crisis today, while also building a better tomorrow. This is a new Bretton Woods moment. All right. And then there's this from DJ Peter Voss. He sent me this. Rothschilds buy Bitcoin. The Rothschild Investment Corporation has bought, I think this number's wrong, 27 Bitcoins, because I saw that and said, well, that's not many. In a stock form through, unless it was an additional 27, they were reported as holding $1.4 billion in assets, with $235,000 of it now held in Bitcoin. Okay, so this shows $1.4 billion. So they own, okay, well, maybe that is right. $235,000 worth of Bitcoin. You'd think they'd own a lot more if they thought Bitcoin was going to be something other than a short-term pop. And then XRP Yo-Yo put this here to show that the Rothschilds are buyers of Bitcoin. And then we had this article, Stellar to add support for USDC stablecoin opening up dollar-backed remittances. They announced Thursday during Stellar Development Foundation's quarterly review, the addition of dollar-backed stablecoin seeks to bolster Stellar's standing as a cross-border payments network. We are focused on creating equitable access to the financial system by building a global network that delivers services to users regardless of their geography. The addition of USDC to Stellar will allow us to continue to expand our global reach in pursuit of its mission while opening up new avenues for growth and innovation for the developers and businesses building on the network. Okay, and finally, I wanted to bring this to your attention. I'm not sure for a fact that this happened, but it looks like that Mt. Gox deadline where they were going to release 150,000 Bitcoin today, it looks like that deadline has been extended to December 15th. I think this might be a court thing. I haven't confirmed this. This is just what I'm seeing here. So we'll see. Now, I've had many people that have been asking me about this YubiKey. Okay, I use one of these security keys when I log into a Coinbase account or any account like Twitter or Google. You can get one of these keys. You literally put it, here, I'll show you the video. You literally put it in your computer and nobody is hacking you if they don't have possession of that key once you have one of them. It's institutional grade security. Watch this video and you will understand. And by the way, when you watch this, you'll see I have a link to this where you can go get one. They're only like $49. You can go and get one. This is institution. This is the level of security that people that work at Google use. Okay. And I've got one. I've got a key like this too. And, there's a link in the description of all my videos where you can go and get one.
Welcome to YubiKey. Our company was founded in Sweden with the mission of making secure login easy and available for everyone. So we invented the YubiKey, a ubiquitous security key for accessing all computers, phones, networks, and online services with a simple touch. To make our dream happen, we've moved part of our team to Silicon Valley, and we work closely with the internet thought leaders to turn our technology into a global security standard.
Open standards and multiple protocols mean that every YubiKey can be used for hundreds of applications. You can secure your email, password managers, social logins, and at the same time, log into your workstation, all in the same YubiKey.
The YubiKey is trusted and used by 9 out of the top 10 internet companies. These companies have seen account takeovers drop to practically zero.
In order for security to scale, it has to be easy to use. YubiKey has shown that with ingenuity and extraordinary focus on key problems, security can be easy. We began by making logins safer for everyone with the YubiKey, and have now created the YubiHSM. It's a tiny, powerful device to protect secrets on servers that's easy to use and accessible for everyone.
If you want to find out if your favorite app or service supports the YubiKey, check out our Works with YubiKey catalog on our site. And when you're ready, pick up a YubiKey from our online store. For developers who want to add YubiKey support into their app or service, we have tons of great resources available to help make the integration process simple.
We won't let the fraudsters limit the internet. Join the security revolution.
Okay, so if you don't have one of those, I highly recommend them. They're not expensive. The link will be in the description of this video if you want to get one. I use it every single time I log into anything. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that the safest way to have a login to anything online is to have a YubiKey for your two-factor authentication. Thank you for listening.
Every day, billions of people around the world are mocked, ridiculed, laughed at, and embarrassed by their friends, family, and even strangers. These people go through their days knowing there are secrets being kept from them. They hear the faint whispers behind closed doors. The information and knowledge is held very close and only shared with others who were fortunate enough to find out. Feeling lost, rejected, and ostracized, these people give up, never finding out what digital assets the digital asset investor holds. But there is hope. Join the free Digital Asset Investor email newsletter and find out what digital assets he owns each month, including investments he's considering. Click the link in the description of this video or go to digitalassetinvestornewsletter.com. Put an end to your days of gloom and depression. Join the greatest free digital asset email newsletter ever created.